lovelies. I hope you're doing alright. I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I would. I did an Instagram poll on my story and on the mental health pages, and a lot of you said that you wanted me to do a video on how I have dealt with grief and my advice that I can give you. So that's what I'm going to do. It is a bit of a sad video. If you're not ready or in the right headspace to watch it, that's absolutely fine. But just make sure you turn this off if it gets too much, because the last thing I want is for it to get too much and update you. So yeah, that's the topic of this video. I hope that it helps, and I hope that everyone is okay. Me, my first proper idea of having someone pass away in a family, because I based it on family first, was I've had people die in my family when I was younger, and obviously I was upset, but I never really completely understood what was going on. And then my uncle died, or my great uncle died, when I was in year 11, and that really, really, really got to me. It really upset me. I was in the middle of starting the week of my mock GCSEs, so I couldn't go to the funeral, and all of my family said that the last thing he'd want me to do is miss one of my mock GCSEs to go to the funeral. So it was a very difficult day, because I felt like I was doing the wrong thing by not being there, but everyone said I was doing the right thing by taking the exam. So I took the exam. It was a day that broke my heart, because I'd finally understood, in a way, just how horrible it is, and I never, ever, ever want to understand, I never wanted to understand it, but since understanding it, I've realised the pain, and it is horrible. So yeah, that happened, and that was my first proper idea of grief, and I was like, oh my god, I never ever want to go through that again. But obviously, sadly, people are going to pass away, and it's just something that is part of life, and it's something that you have to experience, and I wish I never did. I wish I didn't have to. And what is about to come next in this video, the clip that is about to come next, is probably one of the hardest times of my life. So yeah, that happened with my uncle, and that was horrible. Oh, that pain was just, because it was such a shock. Like, no one saw it coming. It was one of those things where, you know, it happened, and we were all in a situation at the time where my auntie, so his wife, was really, really ill, and that's what I'm about to talk about next. She was really ill. We always thought, oh, it's fine, because my uncle will be there to support her no matter what, and that will be fine. And obviously he was the first to go, and none of us saw that come in. So yeah, that was really upsetting. That was really sad. And then my auntie was my great auntie was really, really ill with cancer. She battled it and battled it and battled it for 5 years straight. Everyone kept telling her, oh, you've got this many months to live. And she just battled for 5 years, and then it was just like, all the doctors were like, how is she doing it? Because she had her cancer all over her body, it was just constantly spreading. And my great auntie, she was like, when she got really ill with her cancer, she ended up in a wheelchair, and from then on, we were like best friends. I admired her and her strength so much, and we helped each other. I remember before I got my eating disorder, it was on my birthday actually, when everyone started to run down, my legs started shaking under the table, and we all went out for a meal, and my legs started shaking, and all my family were like, oh my god, are you alright? Is there anything I can do? And Jenny just turned around to my auntie and just went, if she needs you, she'll tell you. Stop asking her, because it is annoying for her when she is trying to deal with it herself. If she needs help, she will ask. Just leave it. And from then on, I was like, someone gets it. And it was the worst thing to happen. Like, obviously, no one ever expected her to end up like she did. But she got it, and I got her, and that's how we were so close. Like, yeah, and we were just like the best of friends. And every time I got a new piece of equipment, like a new chair or a new walker or anything like that, I'd go in and see her and I'd be like, oh, look at this. And like, she'd inspect it and she'd say, oh, I wish I had one of them. That looks amazing. And like, I'd see all her equipment and see what helps her. And yeah, like I said, we just help each other out. And it was lovely. And she really, really, really inspired me because obviously, like I said, her husband had died a few years before, and she was now battling cancer that was all over her body with the support of the family and she had an amazing carer. We couldn't fault her. Like, she's part of the family herself now. And you know when you see something bad is gonna happen, and you just put it off because you're like, oh no, like it's fine. A miracle is gonna happen and everything's gonna be fine. It's almost like that denial stage, and I think that's what I went into. And then last year in April, she passed away. For the week leading up to it, we had got told by all her carers and things like that they were going to put her on end of life, and that we just all needed to be around her. And so we did. I dropped everything in my life that week. I wouldn't leave her side. I didn't want to. That was it. I was there because I was like, I will never forgive myself. Sorry. Oh, I will never forgive myself if I wasn't there. So that whole week leading up, all of our family was just sat round her bed, and on the first couple of days, she was still talking. And I remember everyone else had gone to get lunch or in the kitchen, and I was just sat there in her room, in her flat with her. And she goes to me, Isha, do you know what I hate more than anything in the world? And I went, what? And she went, that light shade up there. And like looked at the light shade on her ceiling. And I was like, you've had that light shade for years. Like, what's going on? And it was because she had so much morphine inside of her, bless her, that she didn't know. But it was so nice because she was on that morphine, she wasn't in as much pain as she normally was. And although she was coming out with things that didn't make sense, you could just still have a laugh with her, even in the worst times. Like, she was the strongest person I think I've ever known so far in my life, and I probably ever will know. So yeah, that happened, and that whole week we were there. It was a very, very weird time because in a way it's such a blur, but in a way it's like you can remember it so clearly, and then the days following she got more and more poorly. Like, they put the pump on and she just wasn't speaking. Like, she would know you were there, and you'd put some certain music on, that you put her favourite music on, or some music that she used to listen to with her husband, and then you'd see a reaction, and it was just so lovely because you knew she was still in the room, and you knew that she knew deep down what was going on, but she wouldn't let go until the very end of the week. We called her our little Duracell bunny. That was in her funeral leaflet thing as well. Because she just kept going and going. They were like, oh yeah, on this pump, like, people only normally last a few days, and just like the whole 5 years, like, she just pushed the limits, and she lasted a whole week. And she kept going and going and going, and on the about because we were there Monday to Friday, and on the Thursday we knew that she didn't have long left. Like, we knew that it was getting to the end, so I said goodbye, and I sat on her bed with her, and I held her hand, and I just went, I just said I love you, and that was it. Like, her favourite thing to say was God bless, and when she still could speak, that's what she kept saying. And when she still could speak, she said to my godmother, she said, I need the picture of Aisha next to my bed. And it was a picture that she had paid for me to go and have a modelling shoot. And it was one of the pictures that came out of that, and she wanted it next to her bed. So she had that next to her bed the whole time. But on the Thursday, like I said goodbye. And it was the most heartbreaking experience of my life. Even now, it gives me shivers. It was horrible. Because I knew that was the last time I was going to see her. And I knew that, that she had fought the biggest battle that anyone could have ever, fought. Ever. And she had defied, all odds, all expectations of all doctors. And, now she could be out of pain. And that's what she wanted. And although we were all going to really, really miss her, and it was going to hurt, that's what she wanted, and we wanted her to be pain-free. So, yeah, and then she passed away on the Friday, and no one was really getting much sense out of me, because I was just so quiet that I didn't want to speak. So my mum dragged me out to the shops to take my mind off it, and we went down to the range, and we were just looking around, and then we got the phone call, and I just saw my mum's face, and I knew that was it, and I knew that, I knew what that phone call meant. And I just sat in the range and sobbed. I remember sobbing down an aisle, and my mum went, do you want to go home? And I remember going, I was like, no, just get what you want, and then we'll go home after. So yeah, we got home, and that week was horrible. I had so many lovely messages from so many people, because I wrote a massive blog dedicated to her on my blog page, and you can still find it now. Actually, it's still on there. It's one of the top stories, and everyone, I think there was 300 people or something that had read it and were just sharing it, and it was just purely dedicated to her, and that really helped me. I mean, I know you get told in therapy and that writing things down helped, and I never ever really believed it until now. I was just until that moment, I was oh no, I was what's the point? But I did. I wrote that blog, and then I just felt better. I felt like I had done something that was from me to her, and I felt better about it. And obviously, anyone that has gone through grief will understand that the weeks between someone passing away that you love and then the funeral is probably one of the, I don't know, most out of body experiences that I have had. I can remember it. I can remember it so clearly. It's the same as the week that we were with her, but at the same time it just dragged and dragged and dragged, and it was I didn't want the funeral. I didn't want the funeral to come, but at the same time I knew it was going to happen, so I just wanted that closure. That's what I wanted, and that was going to be the bottom line. That was it. So yeah, then we had the funeral, and the funeral was lovely. It was exactly how she wanted it. She had planned this whole funeral for years. She'd had it all planned, and that's what she wanted, and that's what she was going to do. And the week we were sat with her, she kept telling all of us to sit in a certain order around her bed, and we were like, what is she trying to do? Then we got to her funeral, and we realised that it was the order she wanted all of us sat in at the church at the funeral, and it all made sense, and we were like, okay, now we see that she was trying to show us that that's how she wanted it. The funeral was lovely again, but probably one of, oh, do you know, just that whole month, the first couple of months was just, I can't even remember like properly functioning. But the funeral was how she wanted it, and that was the one bit of comfort I got. I had to stay strong for my family because obviously she has kids, which is my godmother, and I had to stay strong. And I kept telling myself, you know, I need to stay strong for everyone else, and that's how, in a really unhealthy coping mechanism way, and I don't advise it to anyone. That's how I got through it the first like few weeks at least. Um, and I did. I got told in therapy that that was the complete wrong thing to do. So I left it. I didn't do it like that anymore. In counselling, they always said to me, like, I completely understand how you're trying to get through it, but at the same time, you need to grieve for yourself. And deep down, I knew that. So I still stay strong for everyone else. But when I was on my own, like it was mostly at night, I would grieve for myself. It still is most nights when it's not cloudy. The brightest star outside, right outside my bedroom window, like directly looking into my room, and that was just my comfort, and that is just my comfort still, knowing that okay, that is, we've always said, just the brightest star in the sky, and that is the brightest star in the sky. So that was my comfort because I was like, okay, so she's there. That's okay. Yeah, and it was just horrible. It was absolutely, and still is, like, there's days where I've got a picture of her up on my wall, up up in the corner, and there's days where I will just stop and I'll just burst into tears, and a year later, I still do that. Over a year, year in April, and still probably last week was the last time that happened, and so yeah, it's not easy. And then it came to her year anniversary in April, and I was like, I want to do something to like mark the day, sort of thing. So I went and I got a massive balloon that says one on it, or like one of those big number balloons, and to mark the fact that it had been 1 year. And I wrote all the names of our family on the balloon, and on the back um I wrote a little message to her just saying that I loved her and I missed her and I can't believe it's been a year, and I'm still trying to make her proud. And I went down the beach because I'm lucky enough to live right by the beach. I went down the beach and I let the balloon off, and that was sort of the closure for that day that I needed. And I will probably do it next year and the year after that and get a 2 balloon and a 3 balloon. And on the weight at the bottom, this year I wrote Journey 1 year. And yeah, that's how I got through the first year and a bit, and it wasn't easy. It isn't easy. So this bit goes out to anyone that, like me, is really, really struggling or has struggled and continues to struggle with grief. People tell you that with time it gets easier. And with me, I don't know if it has. I don't know if it's got easier or if I've just got used to it in a very weird sort of way. I don't know if that's just how I've adapted to life. But this message really does go out to anyone that is struggling, and I just want you to know that even though at the time when you're going through it, it doesn't feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and when there's an anniversary or year anniversary or like something big in your family, like your birthday, and that person that you love that isn't here anymore isn't around, I know it hurts. I really, really, really know it does. Um, but you know, I can just advise and do things like go and let that balloon off, give yourself that bit of closure, put their favourite music on while you're doing it. Like that's what I did. Went down the beach, had my portable speaker, put the music on. I sat there with the balloon for a bit just because that's how I felt most comfortable. And then when I was ready, I let the balloon off. And it did help me. It really did. And I would advise it to anyone that is struggling. Do anything to make yourself feel better. Write yourself that letter, or write yourself a letter. This is also what I did. I don't think anyone knows it. Write yourself a letter as if it's from them to you. So write that letter. So it'd be like to Aisha, and or to like whatever your name is. Whoever's watching this, if you want to do it, it'll be to then your name, and then write it as if you're writing it from them. And it does help because when you're really struggling, you can just read through it. And, you know, even though you wrote it from them, so it's almost like they're saying it to you. And it really, really did help me. And that is also something I'd advise doing. Talk to people as well. I know it's difficult. But please, please, please talk to people about it. Don't do what I did. Don't support, well, obviously support your family, support whoever, like, that's just a given, but also support yourself. Don't do what I did and keep it all inside and just make sure everyone else is okay, because eventually it is going to get too much, and you do need to grieve for yourself, as horrible as it is. So do what I did if you need to, and just take some time out for yourself and just, you know, do what you think is going to help getting through grief. Cry. Don't be afraid to cry. Because crying, I don't know if anyone has ever heard this quote, but it's a quote that says, crying doesn't make you weak, it just means you've been strong for too long. And that also really helps me. It helps me on any day, that quote. And I really do stand by it. So yeah, cry, get it out your system. Don't be afraid, and don't be ashamed either. Like, I had people go to me, oh, you need to stay strong for the family, like, don't get this upset, like, how do you think this person feels, how do you think that person feels? And it's like, yeah, okay, I understand, but I'm also feeling that too, and that is okay. It's okay to feel like that. It is okay for you to feel like that, so don't let anyone walk all over you. Don't let them be like, okay, so what about this person? Don't you think they're upset? What about that person? Don't you think they're upset? Because, yeah, they might be. Everyone's upset when they lose a family member. But if you're upset, that is okay, and don't let anyone tell you any different. Put up those barriers and be like, no, it's okay. I'm allowed to get upset. Message people, message the people you trust, and message the people you're closest to. And just, if you need to, just rant. Like, also on my mental health pages, which, like always, I'll put at the end of this video, come and rant to me about it if you need to. Like, I don't mind, and I'll help as much as I can, and that's one of the reasons I've done this video, because there is no specific way of getting through grief. That is a given. It won't change. But talking to people does help, and just know, like I said, that you're allowed to grieve too. This is going to be a short video because it's a really touching and emotional video for me to film, and probably for all of you to watch as well. But yeah, that's why I did this video. I did it because, you know, just know that grief is a part of life. You do think of your family, you do think of other people, and that is the, you know, that is the human thing to do. That just shows you care, but you also need to learn, you know, to give yourself that same respect. And in day-to-day life, I haven't quite learnt that. But I learned that through grieving. I learned that it's okay to grieve. I learned that it's okay if it's been a year and a half and you still see a picture and cry. Because, you know, they say time might be a healer, but sometimes it could be 5 years down the line and you can still get upset. That is okay because it is someone you love. It is someone that you've known, like, your life. It is someone that you've had the honour of meeting, or honour of being in your family, or honour of being friends with, or anything like that. And it is okay. It's understandable. You're not being stupid by getting upset. You're not pushing anyone else out. You're just allowing yourself to get through it. And if that's your way of getting through it, then go for it. Do the things I've said. If it helps you. If it doesn't, then don't do it. I also find listening to music really helps. And people always tell me, well, why do you listen to such sad music when you're upset each? And I do it because when I'm that upset, I physically can't cry. I just go numb. It's part of my mental health. I just go completely numb. And yeah, so I put my headphones in and I listen to, you know, some sad music. But the reason I do it is because it has relatable lyrics to how I'm feeling, and that does really help me. Relatable lyrics, relatable quotes, having someone that understands, all of that sort of stuff really helps. So yeah, like, don't let anyone tell you how to grieve. Grieving is your own process. And obviously, again, like always, I'm not talking from I'm not trained. I'm not talking from a therapist's point of view or anything like that. I'm talking from experience, like I always do in these videos and from all my mental health pages. I will always just talk from experience, and that is the bottom line. So, I hope that whatever you're going through right now gets easier, and if you need to watch and rewatch this video, then please do. I don't mind. I do it with videos that I can relate to. When it comes to like something I'm struggling with, I do it. So please, like, if you need me, just message me and just be like, can I have a chat, because that's what I'm here for. So I hope this video has helped in some sort of way. Obviously, I'll put both mental health pages down here now, and you can see them, and you know, go and follow us, and we do daily updates. Sometimes it's not exactly daily because I have days that I struggle and I just can't physically bring myself to do it. But if it's not daily, it will definitely be way more than once a week. Way more than once a week. I will probably miss a day out of 7. And I'll always catch up with that one post I missed in the end. Like, I'll post 2 a day if I need to, if that's what helps. So yeah, go and follow the pages, like, subscribe, all of that lot. All those famous YouTubers say that you're like, yeah, I've heard it all before. But yeah, I hope you've got some help out of this video. I hope that it's some of the techniques, I hope that they might help you. I hope that you've learned that it's okay to not be okay in day-to-day life, and when you're grieving. Grieve for yourself. And yeah, always feel free to message me on any mental health pages, or just, message me, and I'll always find time to reply. Thank you.